Hello, everybody, and welcome to Right Here, Right Now, live Buffalo football talk presented by Forefathers Organics. I'm your host, Alex Brasky, alongside my co-host, Ajay Cybulski, here for the Batavia Daily and Livingston County News. It's opening day, AJ, and the Bills are at Highmark Stadium ready to take on the Arizona Cardinals. As each week, we'll discuss Buffalo's favorite football team along with all the comings and goings from Orchard Park, thanks to our friends at Forefathers Organics in Dansville.
Unlock the power of nature with Forefathers Organics, your premium CBD store. We offer the highest quality CBD and hemp products to liberate your mind, body, and soul, helping you live happy and free. Our mission is driven by excellence and transparency using cutting-edge scientific methods to combat stress and target issues at their source. From potent ingestible CBD to soothing topicals, all our products are USDA certified organic. Discover all natural wellness from farm to table. Visit forefathersorganics.com for more information.
All right, AJ, inactives have been announced, and the two most notable inactives for today's Bills game against the Cardinals, Buffalo Joe Andreessen and rookie safety Cole Bishop, both marked inactive for this afternoon's matchup. So a little bit of disappointment for the fans, I'm sure. Wanted to see the rookie out there as well as the hometown favorite, but they'll have to wait to see Buffalo Joe and Cole Bishop, as, like I said, they've both been marked inactive.
Yeah, and for everyone joining on YouTube, we greatly appreciate it. This is something we're trying new. We're probably going to stick with it throughout the season, try and build up a little bit of a following here on YouTube, try and get viewers to come over here because, that's important. And I think a nice little 15-minute pregame show. We go live right when the inactives come out, regardless of the game time, always an hour and a half usually before kickoff. So I just want to thank everyone that's in here right now and listening, and also just provide the fans that are listening that this will be a weekly occurrence each week where we kind of go in depth a little bit before this game and get ready for a long Bill season. It all starts today. But yeah, I think with inactive Alex, with the Cole Bishop thing, it kind of makes sense, right, to me. Limited reps throughout the offseason, gets back ready for week one. You feel like maybe he's in a good spot, but you have DeMar Hamlin there. You have Cam Lewis that can play that spot. You have a Mike Edwards that can play that spot. So I think there's a lot of confidence in what they already have there. I would be surprised, Alex, if Cole Bishop was inactive against the Dolphins next week. I think it's also maybe a little – maybe try to keep Cole Bishop hidden, right? Maybe don't put on tape what he can do, and you go into Miami and you can maybe put him out there, and they'll really have no clue kind of his skill set and what he can do. So I think it's also maybe an advantage competitively. And then the Buffalo Joe thing, great story, right? But again, there's so many good linebackers on this team already that we'll get the nod. And what special teams ability can he provide? So it makes sense to me. All really expected. Cedric Van Granger inactive, and Ryan Vandermark maybe a little bit of a surprise because just the fact that you thought maybe Ryan Vandermark could be that swing guy, but obviously a lot of confidence with Alec Anderson. Will Clapp promoted from the practice squad yesterday, so maybe he's a guy that might be asked to contribute. Maybe they liked what they've seen from him during practice this week. So all in all, a nice, relaxing injury report, not too many surprises, and the Bills look, basically fully ready to go besides the Matt Milano injury here with week one about an hour away.
Yeah, we won't see Dewan Smoot. We won't see Javon Solomon, both players marked out for this game, and the complete list of inactives. AJ hinted at a few of them there, or revealed a few of them, I should say. So we had Cole Bishop, Joe Andreessen, Edifon Ulofoshio, Solomon and Smoot are out. Cedric Van Granger and Ryan Vandermark also inactive. So as you said, Will Clapp could be forced into a situation if the Bills are to encounter any injury trouble up front. Now, AJ, why don't we dive into your preview that you posted to the dailynewsonline.com leading into this afternoon's game. Bills at minus 6.5, so giving 6.5 points to the Cardinals entering this game. The number has been set at 47.5. Those odds courtesy of FanDuel Sportsbook. It's a beautiful day out here in Orchard Park. A little bit windy, I will say, as you see the laptop kind of jostling in my hand, being blown by the wind. The back of the laptop acting as like the sail on a ship. But not too bad, and the sun is out. A little bit of clouds, but looks to be precipitation free for this week one matchup. What else did you have inside your game preview, and what are you expecting from this matchup against the Cardinals?
Yeah, I think again, a lot of people may be overlooking the Cardinals. I still think Kyler Murray can beat you, right? He's a guy, 2019 first round pick, has great athletic ability, can make a lot of the throws that you want an NFL quarterback to make. He's been a little bit inconsistent throughout his career, but going through that injury last season, coming back, actually an injury late 2 seasons ago, misses the first half of last year, comes back, returns, doesn't do too well toward the back half of last year with Arizona, but reloaded now with Marvin Harrison Jr., Trey McBride. So I think the Cardinals, first and foremost, I think a little bit overlooked. But I think the deciding factor in this game will obviously be how Dorian Williams can match up with a Trey McBride, the Cardinals tight end who had over 800 yards last year and really emerged as a key target for that Arizona offense. What can he do? Will they trust Dorian in coverage situations? Will they turn to Taron Johnson? Will they go in those dime looks and bring in a third safety like a Mike Edwards if Dorian Williams is having trouble? So there's a lot of things that could happen, a lot of ways the Bills could go about it. I would also say the Bills' offensive line against, I would say, a bottom 5 defensive line right now in the league in terms of how they rank up. I think this Bills offensive line could have a lot of success in the air, on the ground. I'm excited to see, Alex, really what this passing offense looks like against this Cardinals attack. Do they do a lot of play action? Is there some quick passing to lead to the deep bombs down the field that Joe Brady likes to do? Because besides last year, Joe Brady's been a pass-first offensive coordinator. That's how he's been throughout his whole career. At LSU, he loved to throw the ball, and then in Carolina, he loved to throw the ball. So you think it's going to be a balanced attack, and my bold prediction today was James Cook 125-plus yards, or scrimmage yards, I should say. But yeah, there's really a lot to learn from this offensive side of the ball. I think that's really important. And then last but not least, can the Bills' defensive line contain Kyler Murray? Like I said, I mentioned his scrambling ability and his athletic ability. Will the Bills' defensive line be able to contain Kyler Murray's ability to get out of the pocket and extend plays and get those extra yards?
Yeah, I think you're spot on in terms of the Bills, the importance of the Bills' running game in this matchup. I think you're going to see a lot of James Cook, a lot of Ray Davis as well. One of my bold predictions in my 5 takes on the dailynewsonline.com, I predicted Ray Davis to find the end zone in this game. You don't see James Cook find the end zone very often on the ground. So once the Bills get down near the goal line, I think they're going to use Davis as sort of that battering ram in short yardage and even within the 10-yard line, trying to punch those in for 6. Like you mentioned, the defensive line on part of Arizona has shown some tendency to be had in the past, and I think this is a good matchup for a powerful Bills offensive line. Aaron Cromer's done a great job with this group, and they certainly made a transition to making this unit a more powerful unit, placing Connor McGovern at the center position, bringing in David Edwards at left guard. So with those two and what they bring back with Deion Dawkins, the newly paid man, Spencer Brown, and Osiris Torrance, we'll see what this offensive line has to offer. I've been concerned about this unit in terms of their pass protection this offseason, but I don't think I've had many concerns in terms of their ability to pave the way for the Bills running backs. And I think the running game for the Bills is going to be key here this afternoon. Another big question mark entering this game, AJ. Who's it going to be at wide receiver? Bills need 1, 2, maybe 3 guys to step to the forefront this season. Obviously, I think the common names and the best bets are Khalil Shakir, Keon Coleman, Curtis Samuel, but you also have Matt Collins and Marquez Valdez-Scantling. Both have proven in the past, Collins maybe a bit lesser so, to be productive. He had that one season in Atlanta. Marquez Valdez-Scantling maybe a bit more successful over the course of his career, but I wouldn't count out Matt Collins from a 40-50 catch season, and you never know what you're going to get from Marquez Valdez-Scantling. How do you see the wide receiver position starting to emerge and show itself this afternoon against the Cardinals?
Yeah, and for everyone in here, if you have any questions, leave them in the chat. We will answer those. That'll probably be another focal point of these preview shows.
This is our first YouTube-only show, so trying to kind of push the viewers to YouTube and do some YouTube-only shows, trying to get our subscription base up there. So we'd like everybody for joining us, and like AJ said at the top, like, subscribe, share this, comment, do everything you can. We'd certainly greatly appreciate it.
Absolutely. So, yeah, I think this Bills – sorry, what was the original? I lost train of thought.
Who's it going to be a wide receiver?
Yeah.
Khalil Shakir, Keon Coleman, Curtis Samuel, kind of in that top 3. Then you have Hollins, and you never know what you're going to get from Scantling. How do you see it shaking out?
I think there's an argument to be made, and some people I know have made this argument, Bills fans, people that have covered the team, that the Bills' depth at wide receiver this year is a bit better. If you look at it across the board, based on last year, they had Deontay Hardy, Trent Sherfield, two guys who really never fully fit into what they wanted to do offensively. They bring in, Matt Collins, who, you've been very highly regarded him throughout camp and that. So I think what Collins can bring on the outside could be some potential. And I'm just really looking forward to what Khalil Shakir can be. I think he's a wide receiver one for this team right now. I think he brings the most versatility. I think he can get open all over the field. His ability, his yard after the catch ability is second to none. And then what do you get from Keon Coleman? That's another big question mark. So I think the argument to be had about do the Bills have better depth this year can be answered and will be answered after today, because you're going to finally get to see it with your own eyes. A lot of people need to see it right before you believe it. And a lot of people are projecting that this Bills wide receiver room could be successful. But until we see it, which we'll see it in about an hour and 15 minutes, who really knows, what it's exactly going to look like. But I think there's a lot of confidence amongst the guys in the locker room that everybody eats mentality. And I think you could see a multitude of guys get involved today and really make a difference.
Good point from Douglas Masters. Only 4 linebackers active today. Could see a lot of 3 safety looks. You have Mike Edwards coming off that shoulder injury. Damar Hamlin, another big story going into this game, earning his first start since that tough situation in Cincinnati and what he has come through, suffered cardiac arrest on the field, and his subsequent recovery and really all the mental hurdles that he's gone through. So good to see Hamlin out there. And like Douglas is saying, could see a lot of those 3 safety looks that you began to see a bit more of last season after Matt Milano went down. With Dorian Williams still in that position as a neophyte, kind of learning his way, trying to develop kind of his ability in pass coverage, I would say. I think he's a little bit better in run protection, but that pass coverage has been an issue of his. We're going to see what he has to offer, but that could be one way the Bills cover that up, is by using those 3 safety looks. And AJ already mentioned how big of a game this is going to be for Dorian Williams. Once again, we'd like to thank our sponsor, Forefathers Organics, where their mission is to liberate, educate, and innovate with the highest quality CBD and hemp-derived products for your mind, body, and soul, so you can live happy and free. Visit them at 87 Franklin Street in Dansville, online at forefathersorganics.com, or call them at 585-335-2223 to learn more about the products they offer. One of our last topics, AJ, Dalton Kincaid. We mentioned the wide receiving core. It's a big game for Dalton Kincaid. He's expected to be the so-called wide receiver one on this team, and it's his first game in that position. Last year, a rookie, not as much expected of him, maybe more and more expected of him as the season went along, but he's going to be thrust into a very significant role in game 1 this year. We're going to see how he responds against this Arizona defense, and namely safety Budda Baker, who's one of the top safeties in the league.
Yeah, I was just going to mention that. That's how I was going to start my conversation and sentiment was the
Stole your thunder there, AJ.
You did. Budda Baker, I think, Josh Allen mentioned, you tweeted it out how he just flies around right and makes plays. And I think he's going to be a big factor in today's game for the Bills offense. And I think with Dalton Kincaid, Alex, I think I want to see, last year, right early on, you saw him win underneath a lot, kind of be that safety valve, right? He was kind of very dependable underneath and on those short yardage situations. I want to see him win up the seam more, right? You saw that a lot in college at Utah. He could win up the seam, win down the boundary, and use that, kind of that sneaky speed to get over the top of these defenses at the college level. You saw it at some points last year, especially later in the year when Joe Brady took over. But I think with Dalton Kincaid, I want to see more of a down the field kind of intermediate game from him today. I want to see the Bills kind of, have confidence in him down the field at that second and third level, because I think that opens up a lot of doors for this Bills offense. You have a lot of guys that are shifty, like Shakir and Samuel, that can win underneath. So if you send, maybe some 12 personnel as well, you could do some double seam routes with Knox and Kincaid. That's a pretty scary sight. So I think with Kincaid, he is the number one dude, right? He's the guy that they're going to count on, game in, game out to be that dependable target for Josh Allen. And it all starts today. And I think I want to see, in addition to his game from last year, where it was a lot of winning underneath, I want to see him win at every level of the field and do it consistently. And if he can do that, I mean, there's not really a doubt in my mind that he can be a 90 to 100 catch guy for this team and really dominate this Arizona secondary and linebacking core that, besides Budda Baker, they have, I think, a lot of question marks still.
All right, wrapping this episode up, this quick pregame pod. Last season, I remember week 1, one of my 5 takes was, I wanted this team to start winning pretty. I wanted them to start blowing teams out, really asserting themselves as one of the top teams in the league. Obviously, that did not work out last year. They reached the midpoint of the season or past the midpoint at 6-6, and it was really a struggle. This year, I'm looking at it totally in an opposite way. You just need to find a way if you're the Bills. Find a way to win these games. Find a way to an AFC East title. Find a way into the playoffs, and then you never know what can happen. So I think I'm looking at it completely differently than I did last year. However, I think this is going to be a good start for the Bills in week one. My prediction for this game, give me the Bills 38-24, a high-scoring game. Take the over, pound it. I got the Bills winning by 2 touchdowns here in Orchard Park. AJ, your prediction for this afternoon's game.
And Alex, before I get there, not only did the Bills lose last year, they lost ugly. It's not like they lost pretty. It's not like it was a shootout. It was a ugly loss, so even worse than a pretty loss in retrospect, looking back at that week one matchup last year. But I also have the Bills taking this game 31-20. The Bills home opener at Highmark Stadium. Get the W. I think Josh Allen carries the team. I think a big day is in store for James Cook. One of my bold predictions, I think Rasul Douglas picks up right where he left off and makes an interception to Kyler Murray in this one, kind of showing why, the Bills went and traded him last year. Brandon Beane went and got him from Green Bay, a consistent ball hawk, 9 interceptions in the last 2 years. He starts week one with a bang and, kind of makes you forget about all the losses in the secondary, at least for week one, with a big splash play. So Bills 31, Cardinals 20. And the Bills, this is a much needed win, Alex. We haven't really discussed it much, but the Bills schedule the next 5 weeks really feels like it's never a must win, right? Week one can always kind of distract you or make you look up different directions that you don't want to because it's so hard to know what teams are in week one. But I think this year, more importantly, with the juggernaut of a schedule ahead, three night games in the next 5, 4 of those away. I think that's just a tough gauntlet. I think this game is really important.
All right, that's going to do it here from Highmark Stadium. The Bills and Cardinals getting set to take the field. Fans continuing to file in, AJ, slowly but surely. And what a beautiful day in Orchard Park. So thank you for joining us. It's going to be a process getting the viewers over to YouTube. Hopefully by week 5, week 6, we start to hit our stride. But we'd like to thank the few of you that were able to join us here today. Yeah. And a special thank you to Douglas Masters for commenting as well. And we will see you after the game.
It's a new era. Peace out.